It is time now for all things current California politics. I'm Walt Gray, joined this week again by Rich Eisen from Capital Weekly, editor-in-chief. Rich, the state treasurer's race has gotten nasty. We have Ana Caballero, state senator, running for that position. Eleni Kounalakis, who was running for governor, now running for state treasurer. Caballero saying Kounalakis comes from money, can't decide whether she wants to be governor, can't decide whether she wants to be treasurer. Is it usual to have the state treasurer's race getting nasty like this?
Well, not in my memory.
Okay.
It definitely is not something that's a normal thing. I think this part and parcel, I think there's a fair amount of resentment toward Eleni Kounalakis in some areas of government. And look, you know, we tend to put Dems all in one box, and that's just not true. I mean, one Democratic lawmaker that I know describes it as 50 shades of blue. Okay. That's pretty common. But yeah, you know, Caballero's been working toward this for a long time. Suddenly, Eleni gets into the race with all of her money and a previous endorsement from Nancy Pelosi. I think there's definitely some resentment there. Plus, it's understandable, right?
Caballero probably figured this was my gig, and then all of a sudden, Kounalakis drops down with a lot of money, so you can understand the beef.
Well, and look, there's not a lot of respect for the job of the lieutenant governor to begin with.
It's like vice president.
Yeah, let's be real. I mean, you know, being the chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee is a lot more responsibility in many ways than the lieutenant governor.
Okay, redistricting.
Yeah.
This is so hot right now.
Yeah.
So in terms of California, you have Kevin Kiley, James Gallagher, both saying, don't even think about this. This is not the way to go. However, Texas is going forward. California is saying we're going to go forward.
Yeah.
At this point, where do you land on this?
Well, there are a lot of folks, including our former governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and others, Charles Munger, with a lot of money, who've been behind the Redistricting Commission for a long time. They make valid points, but we're in very extraordinary times here. And the reality is, people have been clamoring for Dems to do something to fight back against a lot of the things we've seen Donald Trump do, who has no inclination whatsoever to follow laws. We have seen this. What we are seeing in Texas, if they're going to do it, I really don't know what choice California and maybe other blue states will have.
Well, wouldn't Gallagher and Kiley see that in terms of, look, Texas is starting this fight. What are we supposed to do?
Jim Gallagher has been complaining about Gavin Newsom's gallivanting around the country for a long time. Look, some of these guys have long-term ambitions themselves, and changing the congressional maps in particular, once you're termed out of the legislature, is going to have an impact on them. Kevin Kiley is one of the lawmakers being targeted. Some of this is very personal.
I can understand that. Okay, race for governor, which we tend to land on a lot here. Barbara Boxer has endorsed Antonio Villaraigosa, former mayor of Los Angeles. Does that matter at this point? And I want to put up a poll, the most recent poll from Emerson College, which is showing where people are landing right now. Katie Porter is in the lead, and we've talked about Katie Porter before. She's at the top. But look at number 2 and number 3. Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco are Republicans. If you combine those two, they would have 19%. What is all this saying?
Well, I think a couple things. It's early, number one. Katie Porter has some really good name recognition. Some of the others do not. Hilton and Bianco also have some good name recognition. I don't think endorsements really matter that much. In fact, there's we have a tale of the tape with us that the earlier you get an endorsement, the worse it is for you.
Well, it could be. Let's bounce down to the bottom of that list. You have Betty Yee, Tony Atkins, and Tony Thurmond all like at 2 and 1%. If you're that low early, in the California politics sign, there you go. That's not good at all. I mean, at that point, if you were managing any of these three or their press attaché, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them you got to raise a lot of money and start getting your name out there a little bit more, because that's what a lot of this is name recognition. I mean, those of us who work in politics, of course, we know all these people quite well. Tony Atkins has been both the Assembly Speaker and the Senate Pro Tem. I mean, on and on, right? That does not mean that the average person
Knows.
in the middle of the
No.
state knows who they are.
Not at all. You may have done a great job, but your name isn't popping out there a lot.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Katie Porter and her whiteboard have more name recognition than all of these other folks combined.
Well, the world could be in a different place in the time this rolls around here.
Absolutely true.
And you got these two Republicans that are just right there right now.
And with a lot of money.
With a lot of money. Okay, Rich Eisen, we thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate that.
Yeah.